Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Yaliali. In this incarnation, I am here today to talk about the energies of this next week from July 14th until July 20th. So, this week we don't have many transits perfecting themselves, but we have important things that are gestating, that are beginning this week, and that are part of the next one. So, I am going to talk about certain aspects that are going to be perfected on the next week. And well, on the other side, the more we advance, in this process, we are going to deal with certain aspects of discomfort. I am saying this because this is one of the functions of astrology. I mean, this is not about creating an expectation that something bad is going to happen to me or something good is going to happen to me, but more about learning to take advantage of the aspects that could bring an opportunity, and learning of the discomfort of the aspects that bring that, to understand the function that discomfort has. So let's go in order. We have on July 18th, Mercury in Leo beginning its retrograde period. It starts in the degree 15 with 34 minutes until August 11th, where it awakens in the degree 4 with 14 minutes of Leo. So what we are going to do in here, Mercury is the planet that rules our mental processes. It is a review of the experiences that we have gone through from June 30th until this point, July 18th. So, as I said, Mercury, it is not only about mental processes, communication, messages, everything decisions that we need to make. So, this review in Leo is linked with aspects that involve creativity, our talents, activities that we really enjoy because they connect us with our light, and also with the will of sharing them, of sharing that thing that we do. For some people, could be linked with their relationship with their children, with their kids, things linked with self-esteem, self-love, the expression of who we are, how much authentic we are feeling in that expression. And as Uranus is in Gemini, that is one of the signs that Mercury rules, it is a moment to evaluate perhaps the way that we have expressed ourselves, and to put in practice something that we didn't put before. Beyond doing this thing, I also do this, and I want to share it. Could also, the presence of Uranus in Gemini could impulse the returns, sudden, unexpected returns, both of people. That is something very common in Mercury retrograde, as of ideas that are impulsing us to change our way of creating or of thinking, or communicating. So this could move experiences of our inner child, very, very linked with Leo topics. I mean, if it was allowed to us to be spontaneous, if we could invest energy when we were children in things that we really enjoy, beyond the pretensions of our caretakers, or perhaps not. Perhaps we experimented situations that impacted in our self-esteem and in the confidence to share things that we like. So also, it is a moment to evaluate our exposition in social media, from which place we are doing that, with what intention, with which purpose. Mercury is already stationary, and this is the phase, from this moment that I am making this video, July 13th, until the moment that is retrograde. It is the phase where all the things associated to Mercury retrograde happens. Technological devices having problems, or bad misunderstandings in communication, things linked with with traveling, and topics like that. Well, this is about putting more attention than ever in whatever thing involves all of these processes. And then when, reading, situations that are, going out of our control, as a way of, observing reality in another perspective, or going inwards. Many people, it is already, they have been already feeling things very similar to this that I am describing of Mercury retrograde, but it is because of Uranus in Gemini. Activations with Uranus, especially when we are going to deal with tensions, could manifest a little bit as this stationary part of Mercury retrograde, because Gemini involves things that are linked with Mercury, precisely. So Mercury retrograde, already retrograde in Leo, is going to create a sextile with Venus in Gemini this same day, July 18th. So this is an excellent opportunity to perhaps put in pause, certain projects, to review them, to create new agreements, to generate changes, especially in projects, again, that involve communication, transmitting, or publicity. Could also be a moment to come back to a conversation, or to look situations of relationships of the past with other perspective. Then on July 19th, in here, from this transit and on, things are turning perhaps more uncomfortable, because, in first place, we have the Sun in Cancer creating this square with Chiron in Aries. We're going to feel this from July 15th, 16th. And this is an aspect that, invokes a lot of sensitivity. Ancestral wounds are reactivated, not only the ones that invoke this incarnation. And this could be translated to situations that are moving us a lot emotionally, both of sadness or perhaps from anger. And Chiron, it is also manifested many times as this sensation of incapacity, to do something that hurts. And many times it is only a perception, but other times could be literally a physical incapacity. So this sensation could also emerge from the comparison with other people. And it is important to take this in account, because the Cancerian energy in its shadow could be, this defensive state as a mechanism of protection, because the Cancer core, it is this great vulnerability. And when we talk about the Sun identity, we could interpret everything as a personal attack, when many times it is not being like that way. And if it's being that way, we could feel that in an amplified form. So I think that a way of integrating this, it is being able to be compassive with whatever thing we are feeling. Remember that being compassive, it is not about feeding the discomfort with an inner dialogue of pity, of self-pityness, but just to accept whatever thing we are feeling, and facing in another spiral the insecurity, the fear that could be reactivated, to take ourselves to something that is nourishing. The part of facing the pain, it is a key, because there is a tendency with Chiron to run away from those experiences. For example, I am avoiding to take an initiative, Chiron in Aries, that generates a lot of insecurity to me, because I don't want to deal with that experience. But what we are doing when we act that way, it is preventing us from receiving the light that enters through the wound of Chiron. Therefore, we cannot develop the gift that actually nourishes other people. That is other function of Chiron. It is about this. And later we have Mars in a conjunction. Mars in Virgo is going to make a conjunction with the South Node in Virgo, therefore opposition with the North Node in Pisces. This is going to be perfected the next week, July 22nd, but at the in the middle part of the week, we are going to feel this. And it is an important transit. We have to put it all together with the energy of Chiron. It could be that all these voices are emerging, these voices of criticism, of seeking of the ideal perfection in a plane where that doesn't exist, and where the imperfections have also a function. Could be, this excess of analysis to make decisions that in fact prevent us from making decisions. And these voices can not only come from our mind, but also from the outside, and in aggressive ways, because this is a shadow of Mars in Virgo. Criticism that doesn't construct, that don't have a purpose of improvement, that is born many times from what people needs to reequilibrate, and that is being projected in other people. So we could be very focused on detail in things that are actually not contributing with the big picture, or obviously, well, this could be translated to the outside, being in this judgmental position of what is correct or incorrect, regarding other people's situations, with a very biased vision of the reality. So this is the south node. Everything that emerges is to make this cleansing of aspects of Virgo that are not going to allow us to use our energy to move forward. This is going to be important because we need to do that cleansing in order to move ourselves to the next level. And to put in practice Virgo, because Virgo it is, put in practice with consistency, Piscean energy, which is the north node, being more empathetic in the way that we are approaching other people, considering that there are aspects that we don't know of many situations, and that a minimum of information doesn't enable us to give our opinion of everything. Registrating if we are truly doing that from pure intentions of the soul or not. This is about also the transcendence of our own circuits of self-judgment and perfectionism that don't allow us to accept our humanity, our mistakes, or making decisions to grow, moving to another experience. Okay, at last but no least, I am only mentioning this a little bit, and I am going to expand later. But at the half of this week, we are going to start also the opposition between the Sun with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. This is going to be perfected when the Sun is in Leo, not in Cancer, but in the last degrees of Cancer, we are going to feel it too. And well, this tension is a very uncomfortable one. I'm not going to lie, because in an imminent way, we have to transform something. We have to leave something behind that cannot accompany, this new cycle. It is something that perhaps we have identified with. And the topics that I mentioned in talking about Mercury in Leo could apply. They are going to apply for the next week. This tension could be could involve conflicts too, with regarding people or external situations, because Pluto, it is very about the extremes. Wanting to force situations, wanting to control situations, wanting to impose ourselves from a space of arrogance, which is the shadow of the Sun in Leo, or fearing situations because we are giving to them the power of making us feel controlled. It is also about dealing with something that perhaps has to come to an end, and we have to detach from that, and could be not comfortable doing so. So again, this is about making this purge, this purification that creates the void to receive light. The thing is, when we are rejecting the void, or we are not seeing the function that it has, the evolutionary function that it has, that is related with this, understanding, connecting with light and with love in a new level. Okay, I am going to end this video here. Thank you everyone, and see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.